So, welcome. Good morning. Happy Thursday, July 2nd. How we got to July is beyond me, but we're here. So, let's come on into our comfortable space. I'm going to start upright, but if you feel more comfortable on your back, on your belly, in any other variation, please go ahead and come on into that. And let's just start to settle into our physical body. So let your face soften, let your eyelids get heavy, and let that sort of closing out of the external stimuli, let you focus a little bit more on your internal, and just check in with your body. See how you feel this morning. Notice if anything's feeling off or tight or unusual. And just send a little bit extra breath to those spaces. Let's just start to breathe nice and easy, in and out through the nose. If you're on your back or your belly, let everything get really heavy onto the earth or child's pose. And if you're sitting upright, then sit a little bit taller through the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head, grounding down through the sit bones. Your hands resting somewhere on your lap or on your legs. Starting to watch the breath, watch the cycle of it coming in and out. And take another few rounds of breath here, just easy pace, filling and softening, maybe filling a little space in the front of the head as well. Calming whatever is going on in there this morning, or just pressing pause, pushing aside the thoughts, whatever to-do lists or things going on with the rest of your day. Know that it'll all be there when we're done. So really trying to come back to the present and just focusing. Take another full round of breath here. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Bring them together through to your heart center and pause here. And let's just use the next breath or two to set an intention, a focus for your thoughts, or maybe a dedication. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and release your hands back into your lap and just take another full round of breath in and out through the nose. And then take a deep inhale through the nose. This time send it out through the mouth. Inhale the arms high. Exhale through the mouth. And inhale again, sweep the arms high. This time open it up to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, open it to the left. And just take this a couple of times in each direction. Inhaling through center. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale. This time hold the twist to the right. Really trying to lead with your heart, twisting the rib cage. That left hand can be on your top of your leg or just in front of you on the floor, on the mat. Staying really tall through the spine as you just start to wake up the back body with the twist. Take another inhale. Stay here for the exhale. And then inhale the arms back up high and take it over to the left. And pause here for a few rounds of breath. Take another full breath in and out. And then inhale the arms back up high. And exhale together through your heart center. Roll over all fours. Roll over onto all fours. Come onto your table. Now let's take a few rounds of breath with your cat-cow, waking up the spine now in a forward and back motion. And take each direction following your breath. Be as slow or as fast as your breath is moving right now. I'm going to go ahead and add any other movements here. Wagging the tail. Or some small circles with the wrists over the, with the shoulders over the wrists, or with the hips back over the heels. And of course, pausing anywhere to add a little extra breath. If you're taking circles in either direction, just make sure to take both directions. And if you're taking any kind of serpentine, linking both those movements, just make sure you go both directions there. And then come back to your neutral table. Send your hips back to your heels in an extended child's pose. So keep the fingertips tented forward, and just drop your head. It may not come all the way down to the mat, that's okay. And just take a few breaths here into your back body, really into that lower back area, filling the body with the breath. And then with your next breath, walk the hands over to the right. And you can send your hips a little bit over to the left, lengthening through that left side of the back body a little bit more. And go ahead and come on back through center and take the fingertips over to the left. Hips can shift to the right a little bit. Take another breath here. And then come on back through center. Keep the big tented fingertips forward for another full breath. And then go ahead and send them back by your heels. Drop the forehead. And just take a full deep breath here in your child's pose. And then come on up. Come back through your table. And let's come into a downward facing dog. So tuck the toes and lift the hips. And you can start in a shorter dog than normal. A good gauge for how long your downward dog should be is if you're in full high plank and you lift your hips straight up, you should be able to come right into your downward dog. So if you want to start with it a little bit shorter, and just start to walk out the backs of the legs, bending one knee, lengthening through the opposite leg, through the hamstring, the calf, all the way down through the Achilles. Excuse me. The gaze is just dropping toward the back edge of your mat. And your head, the crown of the head is heavy so that the arms frame the ears on either side of your head. So you don't want to be dropping it too far down, or also lifting it too far out of range of the framing of the arms. So again, just walking out the legs to your pace. It can be fast, it can be slow. You can take a full breath or more than a breath on each side. Just notice how those muscles are feeling. And then start to lengthen out your downward dog. Excuse me. Keeping the hips high and continuing to let the heels ground toward the earth. And then with an inhale breath, hinge forward to your high plank. So now you might just need to adjust your feet or your hands a little bit so that you're in a good position here. Now, of course, you can modify your plank for your practice. You can drop the knees, you can lift the toes, or you can come to forearm plank. So any one of these is an option. If you're in forearm, just make sure the hips don't stay high. You want to make sure the hips are still low enough that you're engaged through the center there, through the core. We're just going to take a few breaths in whatever version of your plank this morning. So engaging through the quadriceps and through the glutes, engaging through the core, but mostly focusing on the breath, filling up with each inhale, letting the gaze just settle somewhere between your hands. With your next inhale, lift your hips back up to the sky, come back into your downward facing dog, and let this serve as a little bit of a rest for you. You know, of course, if it does not, you find a place that does. It can be table, it can be child's pose. Take another breath here, and then inhale, come back to your plank. Take 3 full breaths here. Making sure that your hips are nice and lined, that they're not too high, and of course that they're not sagging or dropping in there at all. Take another full breath. This time let's all drop the knees. You can lift the toes or keep them on the mat. And then pivot your elbow crease to the front of the room so that as you bend your elbow, they hinge to the back of the room, coming down nice and slowly all the way to your belly. And then we'll come into our first Cobra. Bring your hands by your heart, and we're going to take them off the mat for this first one. So press the tops of the feet, feel the kneecaps lift and the quadriceps engage. Then bring the shoulders together on your back, squeezing that imaginary tennis ball. Start to lift from your heart center, and then just take your hands up off the mat so you really feel your back body working to lift you here. From the toes and the tops of the feet pressing all the way through to the heart center. Your gaze is just off the front edge of your mat, so not lifted too much. We don't want to strain the neck. Breathing fully. Take another inhale, and then bring the hands back down on either side of your heart. And you can either press yourself a little bit higher, still staying in sort of a low-ish cobra, or you can scooch your hips forward, come into a high cobra or an upward facing dog. So your choice here. I'm going to keep my legs on the mat for this one and just keep lifting from my heart center. Take another breath in, and then exhale. Slowly take it all back to your downward facing dog, lifting the hips to the sky, dropping the crown of the head and the gaze, letting the heels get heavy, and grounding through the palms, noticing where the weight is in your hand, starting from your fingertips, moving through to the ball joint of your hand, all the way to the heel, and then from the pinky side to the thumb side. See if you can equally distribute the weight throughout your hands. Take another full breath here. In the next inhale, hinge forward, high plank. With an exhale, come halfway to your chaturanga, modified for your practice. Inhale to your back bend, any height of cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale it all back, downward facing dog. Another full breath in and out here. Next inhale, hinge forward, high plank. Halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing, Ardha Mukha. Exhale it all back, Urdhva Mukha, downward facing dog. Take another full breath. Really feeling the backs of the legs elongate. At the end of that exhale, look forward and let's walk our feet to meet the hands at the front of the mat, and then heel toe them hip distance. About 2 fists worth, fit right in there. Let's come on into a rag doll. Sorry, my computer just popped open. There we go. So for this first fold, as always, bending your knees as much as you need. So your chest and your thighs can come right together, or maybe they're a little bit further apart. Find your comfort zone. Grab opposite elbows, let the crown of the head dropping your gaze toward the back of the mat, and just sort of settle in. You can bring a little movement or just breathe in stillness here. Trying to breathe and bring some length to the backs of the legs, and then as well the whole back body. Middle and upper back, the tops of the shoulders, the neck. Let all of that get heavy toward the earth and release some of that stuck energy. Take 3 more full breaths here. And if your third exhale, release your hands, and with bent knees, slowly roll yourself up to stand. 1 vertebrae at a time, letting the head stay heavy and the back come up last. And then slowly making your way all the way to vertical. You can heel toe your feet back toward one another. Coming to your mountain pose, the top of your mat, strong, tall, sturdy, and then soft as well. Always finding the softness and wherever you can in the pose. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the heart. Come on down to your fold. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. Exhale, place the hands, step back. High plank to low. Inhale it up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. And then step your feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, take the right leg high. Flex through that heel, lengthen through the back of that right leg. Maybe bend the standing leg just a tiny bit and see if you can get a little bit more lift out of that right leg. Keep lifting, and then go ahead and straighten the standing leg. Drop that heel a little bit as you open up your hip. You can bend that right leg and open up through the lower body. Take another breath in. And then exhale, start to square it back, and we're going to take that foot all the way forward, coming into a crescent lunge. So you might want to heel toe the right foot a little closer to the right edge of the mat, or just step the back foot a little closer to the left edge. So you want your feet hip distance in your crescent. And then we're going to ground through that right heel. As we start to come up, we're just going to come part way first. Well, we're going to come all the way to vertical, but keeping the hands either on the knees or on your waist here. And just find our base first. So keep grounding through that right heel and feel how that sends the energy all the way through that right hip. Then bend the back knee a little bit and let it drop your pelvis down. And if it wasn't already, bringing that left hip a little bit more squaring toward the front. I don't think you guys can see me, but I'm just going to turn this way. So again, making sure your feet are hip width. So when you bend that back knee, it brings that left hip flexor more in line. So then to your degree, start to straighten that back knee and just make sure that it's not forcing you open at all, because if it does, then keep the back knee bent. The goal here is to try to keep the hips squaring. Keep grounding through that right heel. And then to your degree, you can straighten that back leg. When you feel sturdy and strong in your base, send your arms high. Maybe send your gaze up a little bit. Soften down through the shoulders, maybe into the hips a little bit more as well. Keep that energy focused on the right heel, guiding that right hip back. And take 3 deep full breaths. Take 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, release both hands down. Keep the left hand grounded or on a block, and then send the right fingertips to the sky. And just take an easy twist open. You can be on fist here or tented fingertips, whatever helps you. Twist open from the heart. You can always, as an option, drop that back knee here as well. Take another breath in. And then exhale, release that hand. Send that right foot back. Now you know your options here. You could take it straight up to your 3-legged dog. You could take it straight down to your downward dog. Or you can take your vinyasa, high plank, low plank, upward facing. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. And when you get there, let's step the feet together at the back of the mat. Inhale, take the left leg high. Lengthen through the heel. Maybe bend that right knee a tiny bit and see if you can get a little bit more length without opening the hip first. Then go ahead and keep lifting that left leg. You can straighten the right leg. Drop that right heel a little bit as you open up and stack left hip on top of right. Take another breath in, and then we'll start to square the hips, and we'll take that left foot all the way forward between our hands. Readjust your feet so they're a little wider, and prepare to come up into your crescent, grounding now through that left heel. And come on, bring the chest up, bring the hands to the waist or to the hips. And now bring the focus into that left heel, sending the energy all the way through that left hip, guiding it back. Bend that right knee just a little bit. Feel the pelvis drop into neutral and the hips square a little bit more. And then as much as you can, keeping that squaring toward the front of your mat, slowly start to bring length back to that right leg. And then when you're feeling strong and sturdy, send the arms, send the gaze, melt down through the shoulders and the hips. Settle your gaze and take 3 deep breaths. One more inhale. And with the exhale, release both hands down with the right hand grounded on the earth or fist or tented fingertips. Send the left fingertips high and just take a twist open. Get an option to drop the back knee here. Twisting open, leading with the heart, the rib cage. And take another breath in. And then exhale, release it all down. Take your option here. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take another full breath in your downward dog or when you get there. And then next inhale, take the right leg high. Bend the knee, stack the hip, open it up. Exhale, release it forward. Come back into your crescent lunge. Inhaling everything up. And again, you can always be in back knee supported here for crescent lunge as well. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to the right. Grounding through that right heel. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, twist it open. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist open and pause here. We'll go ahead and take an additional stretch, left fingertips high. Really lengthening through that left side body. Take another breath in. And exhale, windmill everything down. High to low, 3-legged dog, downward dog. Take another full breath in your downward dog. And the next inhale, take the left leg high. Bend the knee, stack the hip, open it up. And as you exhale, square and then step it all the way forward, crescent lunge on the left. All those elements we just did, grounding, squaring, inhale everything up. Settle in. Another breath in. Exhale, twist it open to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, open. Inhale to center. Exhale, open it to the left and pause here or add the stretch, right fingertips to the sky. One more inhale and exhale, windmill everything down. Take one more inhale in your full breath. Inhale and out in your downward dog. And then next inhale, right leg high. Bend the knee, stack the hip, open it up. And exhale, square and bring it all the way forward. Crescent lunge again. Reinforcing muscle memory here. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands together through heart center and twist to the right. You can drop the back knee. Bring that left elbow over the right knee, come into your prayer twist. And as always, lots of options here. So knee can be down, knee can come back into your lunge. You can open your arms, find a bind if that's in your practice, a half bind, or maybe a full bind. So you find your version of the pose. And when you get there, take your 3 deepest breaths. And at the end of your 3rd exhale, release. Come back up to your center crescent lunge. Back knee can be on or off the mat. Just inhaling the heart high, and then drop the outer edge of that back foot. Readjust your feet as you need to open into a warrior 2. So now opening the hips to the side of the room. Glancing down, make sure that right knee is tracking to the right edge of the mat. Feeling strong and secure in your base, extending your gaze out over the front hand. And just settle in, take another deep full breath. And then exhale, windmill everything down. Send the right foot back. Take your option. Next, inhale, take the left leg high. Bend the knee, stack the hip, open it up. And exhale, send it forward, crescent lunge. Inhale up. Exhale, hands together through heart center. Take a twist to the left. I like to come into it by dropping the knee. It just gives me a little bit more stability. So you find the way that you get in the pose, and then where you want to stay in the pose, and then of course how to get out of it as well. 3 of your deepest breaths when you get to your deepest part of the pose. And in that 3rd exhale, release. Come back to your center. Come back up to your crescent. Take an inhale, and then exhale, drop the outer edge of that back foot, open up into your warrior 2. Check your alignment and just settle in. Take another full breath here. And then exhale, windmill everything down. High to low. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then let's all come down to a child's pose. Drop the knees, bring the hands back by the heels. Drop the forehead. Take a few deep breaths here. And then come on up, back up through your table, back up to downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. And then inhale, take the right leg high. Exhale it forward. This time, warrior 1. Turn the outer edge of that back foot down. Continue to ground through that right heel. As you come up, you can start with the hands at the hips, the same as we did, to find your base here. So just like in crescent, you're grounding through that right heel to guide the right hip back, but that left hip is never going to completely square with your back foot grounded. So then you have to work on squaring your rib cage, your shoulders, and your gaze forward. So settling in here, soften down through the shoulders. Again, just letting the gaze settle. And take another inhale, and then exhale, warrior 2. Readjust your feet, open it up, settle in. Deep breath in, deep breath out. 2 more of those. On the next inhale, reverse your warrior, stay in your lunge, just lengthen through the right side body, and then exhale, come forward to your side angle, drop the right elbow gently onto that left knee, left fingertips high, and again, keep grounding through that right heel to guide your hips back, and then twisting open with your torso, your heart and your rib cage as much as you can. So trying not to be looking down at that right foot, but looking open to the side. Left fingertips are high, and again, notice how much weight is on that left elbow. It's easy to just rest it there like you're just kind of hanging out. So try to maybe just lift it up and notice, and then you can bring it back for a little bit of support, but just try to engage through those side obliques as well to keep you lifted. Take another inhale, and then release, come back through warrior 2, lengthen that front leg, reverse your warrior. Take another breath in, and then we'll transition to our Trikonasana. Keep your length on that right side body, shifting your hips to the back, and then as if someone's pulling your fingertips forward as far as you can go, then drop those right fingertips. Keep twisting open like we just were with your heart and with your rib cage, twisting to the side, grounding into that right foot and keeping the muscle energy there to protect that knee joint. And take another 2 breaths here. Just need to open a window. It's very sticky this morning. Another inhale, and then exhale, release. Come back through warrior 2. Reverse your warrior inhale, and then exhale, windmill it all down. Send that right foot back. High to low plank, 3-legged dog, downward facing dog. And we'll all meet there in our downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg high. Exhale, step it forward, warrior 1. So grounding through the outer edge of that back foot and grounding through that left heel. Squaring the torso and the gaze. Softening down through the shoulders. Take another breath in, and then exhale, open it to your warrior 2. Check your alignment, readjust your feet as you need. Another full breath here. And then with an inhale, reverse. Send the fingertips high. Inhale. Exhale, come back through warrior 2 and then drop into your side angle on the left. Right fingertips to the sky. Left elbow gently resting, and then still grounding that left heel to guide the hips back. Twisting the rib cage and the heart. Letting the gaze settle. And keep finding your full breath. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, come back through warrior 2. Lengthen that front leg, reverse. Take another inhale here. Keeping the length on that left side body. Start to transition to your Trikonasana. Send the hips back. And then fingertips and torso all the way out to your degree. And then drop in. Gaze can be up at those fingers, down at your toes, or anywhere in between. As long as you're opening through the heart and your fingertips, your toes, and the crown of your head, creating that 5-pointed star. And take another full breath. And then release, come back through warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, windmill it all down. Take your pick here. I'm taking mine right to downward dog. Take another full breath. And we'll take that flow on the breath. So inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step it forward. Warrior 1, ground down. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen. And then reverse. Take another inhale. And then exhale, come forward into your triangle. Inhale breath. And exhale breath. Take another inhale. Exhale, come back to your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Another full breath. Inhale, take the left leg high. Exhale it forward. Warrior 1, inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen. Reverse. Another inhale. And then exhale, triangle. Oh, I think I missed warrior two. Now I forget how we did. Okay, we'll come to triangle. Take an inhale and an exhale. With your next inhale, come back through warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, windmill. Too hard to remember all the order of the poses on each side. I need you guys in person to remind me. When you get to downward dog, take a nice full deep breath in, breath out, and then hinge forward with your next inhale to your high plank. We're gonna come into a side plank. So you can modify, bring your left knee down and sort of swing that left foot to the left off your mat and bring the right fingertips to the sky, opening into your side plank. If you wanna come into full Shavasana, you're gonna stack right foot on top of left, shift onto that left hand, bring the right fingertips to the sky, lifting your hips to the sky as well. And trying to just open through the heart a little bit. You can try to lift that top leg, lifting your hips as much as you can, or come into a tree variation. Maybe some of you grab your big toes and send that foot all the way high. Whoop! Finding your balance and finding your breath wherever you are. So take 2 more breaths in whatever variation. And then with that exhale, release, come back through center. We're gonna take a vinyasa, or you can just come to table and take a cat-cow. You can come through any version of a modified vinyasa. And come back either through your table and come back to your downward facing dog. And then with an inhale, hinge forward to your high plank, and we'll take Shavasana on the right, sorry. So either you're gonna stack left foot on top of right, or drop that right knee, swing that right foot out a little bit, bring your left fingertips to the sky. And with that knee down, you can still do a variation here. You can lift that left leg. You can grab the left toes and still try to send those high. Or if your feet are stacked, lifting the hips, lifting that top leg. Take 1 more breath here. And then exhale, bring everything back around to your center plank. Exhale through your vinyasa or through your cat-cow. And we'll come back to our downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then everyone come on down to your table. I'm just gonna turn to face you this way. Come on up to your knees. And bring your right foot out to the side. So your edge of your foot is parallel to your mat. And then bring your right hand gently onto that right leg, left fingertips to the sky. Take an inhale, lift up, and exhale, just take an easy bend over to the right. So lengthening through that whole left side body. Using inhale, come on back up through center, and then bring that left hand all the way down. You can just sort of slide that right foot along to the degree that you need. Bring the right fingertips up, and then take them over so that now the length is on the right side of the body. And keep a little bit of energy grounding that right foot so you feel sturdy on the earth. And again, trying to make sure that your ribcage and your heart are twisting toward what's now the front of the room and not down toward your mat. Take another breath here. And then release. Come on back up. Bring the legs or the knees together about hips width. Bring the hands on the lower back. And inhale the shoulders together and then send them down the back as you just get a nice, gentle, easy heart opener here. Gaze can stay straight ahead, or if it's okay in your neck, go ahead and walk your gaze up toward the ceiling or even toward the back of the room. Just make sure that there's no strain there through the back of the neck or the front of the throat. Take another full breath, and then inhale, come all the way back up, and then just guide your hips back to a child's pose. Bring your hands back by your heels, bring your forehead to the earth. And take a few deep breaths. Take another full breath, and then come on back up through your table and come back onto your knees we'll come back into our gate pose on the opposite side. So this time bringing your left leg out, that left edge of that left foot parallel to that edge of the mat. Left hand resting gently, right fingertips come high, inhale, and exhale, take that over to the left, just an easy bend. Try to make sure that right hand isn't putting any pressure right on the knee joint. So if it's resting there, it's okay, but if you're pressing into your leg, just make sure it's not pressing into that joint. Use an inhale to come back up, and then bring that right hand all the way down, slide that foot to the degree you need, left fingertips come up, and then all the way over. Shining your heart toward the front, grounding through that left foot just a little bit. And take another inhale, and then exhale, release. Come on back up. We'll come back into our sort of modified camel, or if anybody wants to, you can certainly turn this into a camel. So instead of just doing the heart opener here, if you want, tuck the toes. I can't remember if we did it on Tuesday or last Thursday we did camel, but if you want to come a little deeper, you can walk either one hand at a time. You can send the left fingertips high, walk the right hand back, lift from your heart center. Make sure that you're engaging your quadriceps here to keep sending the hips forward. Don't let anything drop back. And then you can switch sides. Bring the right fingertips forward and walk the left fingertips back for the top of that left heel. Keep sending the fingertips high, lengthening, lifting from the heart. Coming back up, and if you want to take both sides together, keep lifting from the heart, walk the hands back till you find your heels, and then again, engaging the quadriceps so you're sending the hips forward, lifting from the heart and the head, the same as we did before. You can stay looking forward, or you can walk the gaze, all the way across the ceiling, letting the front of the neck open up. Take another breath here, and then walk the hands all the way back up. And then again, guide the hips back, slowly, gently come into your child's pose. Hands back by your heels, forehead to the earth. Breathing into that back body, maybe a gentle massage with small circles, or that gentle kneading of all the spaces that are a little tight. Take another full breath here, and then come on back up. Just walk your hands forward, your feet back, come back into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale. And let's just walk our feet to meet our hands, the front of the mat, heel toe them hip distance, and let's interlace the hands in the lower back to get a shoulder opener here as we come into our fold. So drop the crown of the head, drop the arms overhead. If they don't reach each other, grab a piece of clothing, a towel or a strap to elongate there. Otherwise, you can also just grab the back of your clothing here. And just take a few breaths, noticing how everything feels now as compared to the beginning of class. Hopefully it feels a little bit more easeful, softer, longer. Take another full breath, and then exhale, release the hands with, excuse me, with bent knees, slowly roll yourself to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Come all the way up. We'll come into a few standing balance poses. So let's come into eagle first. So starting with the balance on your left. I like to start, we'll start with our hands at our hips, and I like to kind of bend both knees, almost like a little bit of an Utkatasana, and then cross the right over the left. And you can either just let those toes dangle, you can kickstand them on the mat, or you can tuck them behind the left calf if your body allows. Not everybody's body allows for this kind of entanglement. And then we're gonna take the arms out, and we'll take right arm under, left arm over, bend the elbows and try to bring the palms toward one another. Let your gaze settle, and then drop the elbows a little bit. Feel the shoulders, the back of the shoulders expand. Press the palms away from your face, and then lift the elbows back up just a little bit. Take 3 more breaths, dropping into your degree. You can bend that standing leg as much as you like. Into that third exhale, release everything. Sweep the arms high. As you inhale and exhale the hands through heart center. We'll take the other side. So sort of bending both knees, crossing left over right, and either hang, kickstand, or tuck. And then we'll open up the arms, and this time we'll take right arm under, left arm over. Sorry, other way around. Right arm over, left arm under, the opposite that we just did. Bend the elbows, bring the palms to touch. And then settle your gaze, drop into your pose. Drop the elbows a little bit, press the palms away from your face, feel the shoulder blades expand, and then try to lift the elbows just a little bit. You'll feel all those muscles engaging. 3 deep breaths. Into that third exhale, release, sweep everything high as you inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. All right, and we will take one more. I'm always inclined to go to dancer after we do eagle and kind of hug everything in. We want to open it back up. So I'm going to give you the option though, if you don't feel like coming to dancer, you can come to tree. And you can bring the sole of that right foot either to your calf or to your inner thigh. Palms start together at the heart center and find a spot for your gaze. If you want to come to dancer, start with the left arm high, reach back with the right hand to the top of that right foot, squaring your knees, hips, rib cage, shoulders, gaze, everything forward. And then when you're ready, if you want to take it deeper, send that right foot high. Let the gaze settle out in front. Wherever you are in either pose, finding 3 deep breaths. Into that third exhale, gently releasing, and we'll take the other side. For dancer, bring the right hand high, reach back with the left hand to the top of that left foot. For tree, you're going to bring the left foot to the top of the inner thigh or to the calf, hands together at the heart center. And again, coming into your pose, when you get to your peak, take 3 deep breaths. And then gently releasing, come back through center, bring the hands together at the heart center, take an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and then inhale, sweep the arms high, exhale, swan dive. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen, and then exhale, heel toe the feet a little bit wider, maybe once, maybe twice, so heels in, toes out. Bend the knees, drop the hips, and come on down into a malasana squat. So your heels are probably a little bit, like about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider than 2 fists. Bring the hands together at the heart center. Stay as tall through the spine as you can. And you can use the elbows against your knees to kind of guide them a little bit wider if your body allows. You can also be supported on a block or any other support underneath the pelvis. But just try to let the face and the body soften here. And take a few deep breaths. You can let the eyelids get heavy as well. Take 2 more breaths. And to that second exhale, release the hands and just release everything down. You can just sort of drop your seat. Stretch the legs out long in front, give a little shake, release through the knees. And then flex the heels, flex the toes back toward your face or toward the sky. Maybe moving the flesh behind your legs and behind your tush there so that your sit bones get nice and grounded. And then inhale the arms high, lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, come forward into your fold. You bend the knees as much as you need to come down without any strain. If you have a block or a pillow underneath the knees, that's a great restorative version of the pose. Turn sideways, you can see it better. It just allows the back body to expand a little bit more without the strain through the hamstrings if they are tight. So let's take 5 breaths here. Just trying to settle and soften. Into that fifth exhale, release and come all the way down onto your back. Lengthen the arms overhead. Inhale, stretch everything out long. And then exhale, hug the knees into your chest. Squeeze them in tight and then open them up wide for a happy baby. Grab the outer edges of your feet or the big toes with your peace fingers. Try to keep the tailbone grounded and get the shoulders heavy. Feet are flat as if they were standing on the ceiling. And then just like gravity, take your knees toward the earth to the degree that your body allows. And take a few deep breaths here. You can bring a little bit of gentle movement or just breathe in stillness here. Let the face and the eyelids soften. Another full breath. And then gently guide the knees back toward one another. And let's come into an inversion. So legs up, shoulder stand. If you're near a wall, I would definitely encourage you to come close to the wall and sweep your legs right up so that they're resting. If you're going to come into shoulder stand, you can come through plough first. Come high onto your shoulder blades with the hands on your back body for support. You can bring one leg at a time all the way toward the sky. Trying to bring the legs as close, like trying to get that kink out of the hips as much as possible. And you can either point or point flex the feet. Trying to get as high on the shoulder blades as you can, making sure the hands stay on the back body for support. If you're in legs up or legs up with a block under your lower back, soften part of your body that's on the earth. And in both places, let the eyelids get heavy. If that's comfortable for you, let the face soften. And if you're in shoulder stand, slowly start to make your way to plough, bringing the feet back overhead, keeping the hands on the lower back for support, and just starting to get that lengthening, that stretch through the back of the neck. If you were in legs up, you can also come through plough. Just keep the hands on the lower back and need to get a little higher on your shoulder blades. Take another breath here, and then let's everyone start to come out of the inversion, coming back down. And if you want, you can come through fish if you were in plough, bringing the hands underneath the lower back and then come up onto the forearms, lifting from the heart and dropping the head all the way back, just reversing that curvature in the cervical spine. You can also add a little core here if you want by lifting the toes an inch or two. You can also bend the knees, place the feet flat. So find the place where your body can release. Take another full breath. And then gently release. Come all the way back down to your back. Hug the knees into your chest. Squeeze them in tight. And we'll drop them over to the right. For a spinal twist, you can keep both knees together. If you want a little more, you can lengthen that lower leg. Maybe tuck the toes behind that right knee. Drop your gaze over to the left and that left arm open like a goalpost or a wing. Take another breath here. And then come back through center. You can give the knees a squeeze in toward your chest and then drop them to the left. Your gaze and the arm, right arm out to the right. And you don't have to take the same variation. If you had that lower leg extended, you can do that again. Or if that doesn't feel the same on this side, which it may not, you can bring them both together. A few deep breaths. Take another full breath. And then as you exhale, release, come back through center. Give the knees one last nice squeeze. Maybe lift the shoulders up, maybe a little rock side to side. And then come into your Shavasana, extending everything long. Bringing heels to each corner of the mat, the arms by your sides. Let everything get heavy. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You can do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale it all through the mouth. Let the body get heavy and soft. All the parts that you feel touching the mat or the floor or the grass or wherever you are. Let the face soften, the muscles on the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw, the eyelids heavy. And just come back into your easy pace of breath. Watching it come in and out. Start to bring some awareness back to your breath and to your physical body. Some gentle movements to your fingers and toes. And then with your next inhale, lengthen the arms overhead, stretch everything out, fill up the body with the breath. And with the exhale, squeeze the knees into the chest. Drop everything to one side and take another deep, full breath in and out. And then when you're ready, make your way back up to a comfortable upright. And bring the hands together at the heart center. Bring back to mind your intention or dedication or your focus, the next breath or two. And let's honor those thoughts by bringing our hands to our crown, to our throats, honoring our words, to our hearts, honoring our souls, and the light that shines in each one of us. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.